I'm Curt. Good afternoon for coming to this press conference. I'm going to be the first speaker today, and then I'm going to pass it along the lines here to Dr. Downs and our athletic director, Josh Moon. We will be available to answer questions after the press conference is over with, if anybody would like to ask us questions. First thing I'd like to do is to congratulate Coach Sather and his coaches and our men's basketball team for an outstanding season, for putting Aberdeen and Northern State and South Dakota on the national map. Just a great performance. And our men did so well that our women kind of got overlooked a little bit, but our women's basketball team, I'd like to congratulate them. 26 wins, winning a game in the regional tournament, just doing a lot of good things during the course of the year, and having a great season. So congratulations to our women's basketball team. And the last thank you as an individual. I don't know if Miranda Ristow is here, but I don't know if I've ever had a player in 39 years do what she's done on and off the basketball court this year. She won just about every academic award there was to win. She won just about every athletic award there was to win. She set a record for the most points scored in a single season here, and that's over the last 39 years. She's got 2 postgraduate scholarships awards to USD. She was named Athlete of the Year in our conference, Athlete of the Year in our school, and to 2 or 3 different All-American teams. So congratulations, Miranda. It's probably not a big secret why we're here today. I'm here to announce that I'm retiring as a women's basketball coach at Northern State, effective when my contract runs out, June 21st. Had a chance to tell my players about a half hour ago, and we've been very upfront with them over the last couple years and letting them know that this certainly could be a possibility. Well, I don't think it was anything that shocked anybody. Sometimes change is good, and sometimes it's a little bit tougher, but like I said, I don't think there was anybody that was completely shocked by it. It's been a great 39 years here at Northern. Looking back on things we've done here, winning a couple national championships, qualifying for the NCAA tournament 5 straight years. I don't think people realize how hard that is. We've got 16 teams in our league. 3 of them make it to the national tournament every year. We did it 5 years in a row, so congratulations to our team. We won 2 tournament championships down at Sioux Falls over the last 4 years, and just have a lot of great memories here over the past 39 years. I think probably the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that of all those 39 years that it's all been in one school here at Northern State. I have coached football here for quite a long time, women's basketball, women's softball, women's track, and baseball. So I've had a lot of different sports here over my coaching career, but I'm very proud to have started here with college and ended here with college. I've always been kind of an Aberdeen guy. Coming out of high school, I enjoyed representing Aberdeen Central in all the sports, football, basketball, track, baseball. Coming here to Northern athletically, certainly enjoyed representing Northern State in basketball and baseball. And even after college was over with, I enjoyed representing Aberdeen in amateur baseball. So I've always been very proud of this community and the people that live here. I've had a great opportunity to work with some great coaches and players over the years, and hopefully some of these athletes have learned something from me that's going to prepare them for life after college. I guess the questions would rise, why now? My wife's been retired now for 6 years, and she would like me to spend more quality time with her at home. Now, I got an email from one of my former players here about an hour ago. She said, "Really enjoy your leisure time, but please don't drive Vicky nuts." So, But I think it's time for somebody to take over. I think you get to a point where physically and mentally it's just time for a change. And I think I'm at that point physically. You know, I had shoulder surgery 2 years ago. I had ankle surgery last spring. I had knee surgery 6 weeks ago. And it's really hard trying to coach from a chair. I'm not much of a chair coach in practice. And it's kind of got to that the last month or two of our basketball season. The commitment to recruiting that it takes these days when you've got to be in gyms for half the summer, mainly in Minneapolis, doesn't appeal to me anymore like it used to. And obviously recruiting is the main crutch of your programs. So it's time for somebody younger to kind of take over that challenge. And also we graduated 6 seniors. And these 6 seniors have been pretty good, done a lot of things. And I think now is a good time for a new coach to come in, put her stamp or his stamp on the program, and go from there. We've got a couple starting guards back next year. We've got 2 centers that played a lot of basketball when Miranda got in foul trouble. We also have 2 seniors coming back with a lot of experience. So we did graduate 6, but we got some pretty experienced players coming back for next year. Some people I'd like to thank. Certainly like to thank my wife for putting up with me for 39 years. She could always tell when basketball season was close. We've shared a lot of good basketball memories and a few not so good, but that's the way it goes over the years. I'd like to thank our administration from way back to the present. You know, the presidents, including Dr. Downs, and the athletic directors, including Josh, have been very, very good about just letting our coaches coach. And once in a while, they kind of tell you, you need some of this, might need some of that, but for the most part, they kind of let our coaches coach, and I really appreciated that. I'd like to congratulate all my former assistant coaches, and I think over 39 years, I've been through a lot of them, and hopefully they've learned. I've got some out there that are college coaches now. All my former players that have been so supportive and loyal over the years. The fans, what can you say? You know, you lead the nation in attendance for 10 years, even on the women's side of it. You know, you're talking 2,600 fans a game, which is just unbelievable. And probably even more than that is the way that the fans treated our players. Off the basketball court, probably more than on the basketball court. I mean, you know, our players go to the store and people want to talk to them about basketball, and they're very friendly to them. And you know, you come to our games and you see the same people sitting in the same seats all game. You know, you look straight across and you see the Dami contingent. And over here, you got a Mitchell sitting up in the stands. And you know, the people that you recognize over the years that are there all the time. And those are some of the things you're going to miss as a coach. I'd like to thank all my previous coaches from high school, Don Reshitar, Jack Neeson, Frank Bohall, Dave Smith, Reedy Fossum. A lot of those people aren't with us anymore. My college coaches, Jim Kretschmann, who had enough faith in me to name football players. They had a women's basketball coach at Northern State a long time ago, and I appreciate that. And Bart Byrne, our baseball coach. I know that it's going to be a tough first year out, just like it is any college athlete or the parents probably more than anybody, but same thing for old coaches. Boy, that first time out's a tough one, because now you got to kind of keep your mouth shut, and you got to let somebody else coach, and you got to not yell at the refs quite as much and some of those kind of things. But I'm going to try not to get any technical fouls from the stands, and but we certainly plan on being good fans and trying to get to most games, even some on the road. It's kind of funny because 2 of my main competitors over the years, Paul Fessler, he was the bald-headed coach at Concordia, who took another job 2 years ago, and Kilsmeyer from Wayne State, who just took the Cleveland State job here a month ago. Fessler texted Kilsmeyer this morning, and Kilsmeyer shared the text with me, and he said, "Hey, I hear Fred's retiring." He said, "Boy, with us 3 getting out of the league, that's really going to be a candy-ass league." And so I expect to get an awful lot of thank you emails from the referees here over the next couple days. And for some of you people that came to the games just to be entertained by me and the referees, you'll have to find something else to entertain you now. Last thing I want to do is I want to talk about my present assistant coach, Paula Krueger. Paula has done 2 different coaching stints with me for a total of 9 years, and I couldn't have asked for anybody any more loyal than Paula's been to our program. Paula's had success as a head coach. She's had success at the high school level and at the Division II college level. She played in 2 national championships here. She was an MVP of a national championship here, so she knows how to win. And from the recruiting standpoint of it, you know, she recruited good players to come to a engineering school in Colorado. And basically this past year, Paula's done all the recruiting. I had foot surgery in May, and I was on a scooter for about 3 months, so she was the one that was in the gyms all summer long. And she's got 5 recruits coming in this fall, and she recruited all of them. And so she's been very much a proven recruiter. And probably the biggest thing about Coach Krueger is she really has a passion for Northern State. One of her goals in life is to, one of her 2 goals was to, she either wanted to be the head coach at Tennessee, in which might be coming in 20 years or so, or she wanted to be the head coach at Northern State. And so because of this, I'm going to recommend to our administration, Athletic Director Josh Moon and President Downs, that Paula Stolzmark Krueger be named the next women's basketball coach at Northern State. Go Wolves. Thanks.
Let's have another round of applause for Coach Fred. He's one of a kind. I'd like to start off by thanking the coach and his family, especially Vicki. You've been through all of this 24/7. We don't see it and live it 24/7, and you've just been awesome as a partner to this program. When you came to college, Coach, did you think that you were going to be here for life? You came here as a student and a student athlete, and then you stayed for another X number of years, then 39 years as head coach. I guess you might call it a life sentence. But no, we're very happy that you've been a part of Northern for as long as you have, and you've done great work. When you look at higher education, it sees change a lot. But we haven't had change in the women's program. Coach Fred has been this cornerstone. You say women's basketball, it's Coach Fred. And when you were talking about the referees a minute ago, I was visualizing this one game this past season, and there was a really bad call. And Coach gets up and real calmly just gets to the ref and calls him over. He must have been a new ref. And the ref comes all the way up to him, and then Coach lights into him. I think we have it on video. It was a classic moment. But in terms of what you've done, all of your accomplishments, it just hasn't been done at this institution or nationally. You look at college basketball, you've coached 2 national championships, 846 total career wins. That's amazing. The winningest coach in Northern's history. 63 all-conference student athletes have come in under your direction. You're a member of 4 Hall of Fames, NSU, the NSIC, NAIA, and the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. And that just says that there's consensus that you're just an outstanding sportsman and a leader. Synonymous with Aberdeen sports. You see Coach Fred everywhere. He's still doing umpiring for baseball, refereeing for basketball. Occasionally you see him playing a pickup game. But you were also a 2-time athlete, All-American in baseball and football. So you're very, very much a true athlete, somebody that we can look at and say, what does an athlete look like? Well, it's Coach Fred. We'd like to thank you as a university for all your years of service to Northern. These 39 years, you've coached a lot of people. You mentioned them. You've mentored a lot of people that have gone on to do great things and have great impact nationally and internationally. When I look at coaches that are awesome, like Coach Fred, you look at your work as very selfless. It's an occupation that says, how do I take these students and mold them into something that's going to be great? Not only as players, but students. And these student athletes go out and do great things. So all the student athletes that I've met that go back decades are so loyal to Coach Fred because they know that he made such a great difference in their lives and in their development. And that's what we ask of every educator, to make a difference in the life of a student or a student athlete. And Coach, you've done a phenomenal job, so thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask Josh Moon to come up and make some remarks.
Okay, common theme here. We really want to say thank you to Coach Fred for all his hard work and dedication over the past 39 years as our head women's basketball coach. It truly is remarkable to think about all the time, energy, and passion he's put in this university. And we talked about the national championships. That's never been done here before, and it let people know that, yeah, we can win a national championship here. And I think it's really elevated the athletic department in the mid-'90s when we were NAI making that transition to D2, and we're starting to see some of that come to fruition this year with men's basketball. So he helped us and put us on the national stage and really elevated this university. He did it his way, coached student athletes hard and demanded a lot. Very unique coaching style, right, Fred? But I think our athletes reach heights they never thought were possible. We've heard from alums from back in the 80s, back in the 70s, that say, you know what, Fred pushed me to places I never thought were possible. You know what, I came out of there a better person and somebody that excelled professionally, and that's our goal here with our student athletes. Some additional accomplishments that Fred's achieved over his career. He's the 14th coach across all NCAA divisions to surpass 800 wins. So there's over 1,100 schools in the NCAA, and you think about that, only 14 coaches in women's basketball have surpassed 800 wins. So that's truly a remarkable statistic there. 7 conference championships, 2 NSIC tourney championships, 4-time NSIC Coach of the Year. He's coached 32 1,000-point scorers. We mentioned he was an All-American baseball and football student athlete. His picture there, how old are you on that picture on the wall there? 22 maybe? So if you walk out to the Hall of Fame or the All-American wall, you'll see Coach Fred there in his football gear. He also coached baseball, 73 wins as the head coach, women's track, football, and softball. So our current head coaches and assistant coaches, you guys are soft, right? You only coach one sport. What's going on? Fred coached 6 or 7 sports. Coach Fred, as Dr. Downs mentioned, we sincerely want to thank you for all you've done for Northern State University, and especially our athletic department, our student athletes. Job well done, and Vicki, good luck, right? So to help say thank you, I've got 2 of your favorites here. So if you know Coach Fred, he might grab some popcorn before the game. So this will last a little while, I think. And then we got some of your favorite beverage here as well. But seriously, we would like to have Dr. Downs come up. We're going to unveil something for you. I think you'll enjoy this. Let's take a look. And then one small other present, because we know he likes to fish, so we got you a little fishing package. So, enjoy. So, one more time, let's give a big round of applause for Coach Curt Fredrickson. Okay, now we want to talk about the future. Coach Fred and I have been discussing his retirement for a long time. I've been here almost 6 years, and the conversation really started when he hired Paula as the assistant coach 3 years ago. I did not know Paula at the time, but I've had the chance to watch her coach, recruit, and watch how she works with her student athletes on a daily basis and interact with our fellow coaches in this department, our staff, and the community. Paula's been on an interview the past 3 years, and she's done an excellent job. Coach Fred has, as he mentioned before, given her a ton of responsibility, recruiting, almost running the program the last couple of years here. She clearly understands the high expectations of this program, the rich tradition. You can see here trophies, national attendance leaders, so much history in this program. She understands that, respects this program, and believes in this program more than anybody. So Paula is more than ready for this opportunity, something that she's been dreaming about most of her life. I talked to her last week, and she mentioned after they won the first national championship in '92 that someone, a member of the NEI administration, talked to her about. She said, "You're a head coach. You got that head coach material." And I think Paula said at that point in time, this is her dream to be in this spot right now at her alma mater. So when Coach Fred and I discussed his transition 3 years ago, he believed that Paula could be a successor. He believed strongly in her at that time, and that never wavered. We both agreed that she would have to put in her time and show us what she could do. Again, me not knowing Paula before then, and she's been on interview for the past 3 years. So the time has come. Fred has gave me the strongest recommendation possible for Paula to take over this program. And Coach Fred's recommendation really means a lot to me, means a lot to Dr. Downs, and there's only one coach he recommended, and it's Paula Krueger. So during my meetings with Dr. Downs over the past year, we reviewed where we were at with the program, talked about Fred and I's discussions, especially over the past couple of months, and I gave Dr. Downs my recommendation. We conferred, and Dr. Downs agreed that Paula Krueger should be the next head coach of the NSC Women's Basketball Program, so that's where we're at right now. A few points on Paula. Paula is the member of the Northern State and Northern Sun Hall of Fame. She's a two-time national champion here at NSU. She's a 1994 National Tournament MVP, the '94 NSU Hildred Wolf Female Athlete of the Year recipient. She has 9 years of head coaching experience at the Division II level at Colorado School of Mines. Her 133 wins is the highest winning percentage in Mines history. She was named Coach of the Year in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. She's coached at the highest level in Colorado High School, 2 state tourney appearances, including a runner-up finish and conference championship, and she was the Conference Coach of the Year. As Fred mentioned, experience at Northern State, 9 years as an assistant coach, the past 2 as associate head coach. She has administrative experience serving on the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Committee and also the region chair for NCAA Women's Basketball. The one negative of Paula, she's a Dallas Cowboys fan. So that's something that I really had to get past, but Paula, go Pack, go. Okay. She is a native of Pierpont, South Dakota, and Langford High School. So it's my pleasure, I'm very excited to formally introduce the 4th head women's basketball coach in Northern State University history, Paula Krueger.
I'm a titch bit more of a crier than Coach Fred, so you have to bear with me for just a minute. 18 years ago, Coach told me if I wanted to come back here as the head coach, I'd have to leave. To fulfill the dream that I'd had since I was 19 years old. It was one of the many ways that he taught me to not be the same, but be better. And he teaches me that every single day. There's no one more proud of that man than me. And I am honored to fill your shoes. Okay, enough of that crap. I'd like to thank NSU President Tim Downs, our Athletic Director Josh Moon, and Northern State University for the confidence and support they've given me. I'd like to thank Northern for being the institution that it is. The passion that you bring to everything that you do is evident in the new things that are going up, the embracing of change when it comes, and finding a way to simply get things done. And so I want to thank the president, my athletic director, and this university for this opportunity. It is proof that dreams do come true. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the players I've had an opportunity to coach, including the current team, previous players, and to my alumni and teammates. I too cherish this program as you do and will do my best to maintain the pride that you have and to continue to make you proud in what it means to be a Northern State University women's basketball player. I'd like to thank my family for always supporting my dreams, for picking me up when I fell down, for dusting me off and never allowing me to quit or give up. They are truly die-hard Wolves fans, and I look forward to having them in the stands for many years to come. I'd like to thank my husband, Brad, for going all in 22 years ago on this crazy coaching ride. I can only hope to achieve the things that Coach Fred did both off the court, in his married life, and on the basketball court. 39 years, no chance. But I won't be around that long, I don't think. But Brad, I appreciate all your support, and I look forward to what comes next. Finally, last but not least, I'd like to thank the community of Aberdeen. Your support is unbelievable. It's unparalleled anywhere, and I've been other places, and there is nothing like coming home to not be the same, but to be better. Thank you.
So we'll have some Q&A here with the four of us. Just ask the question, address it to who you want a response from, and we'll go from there. Thank you all for coming today. Yes, Coach Fred does like Diet Mountain Dew. Just want to make sure we'll know that.
I'll go first. Bailey with Callaway News and Sioux Falls. I guess Coach Fred, you kind of mentioned it there, but what are you going to do now with all your free time?
Fish. Well, that's a good question. I'm sure I'll probably sneak over here and watch a few practices. I enjoy a lot of outdoor activities. So I expect to, as soon as I get healthy here, continue having a good time outdoors. I've got a couple of dogs at home that I would like to go for walks when I get healthy. Some of those kind of things, and then be able to critique all our coaches here at Northern from the stands.
Coach Fredrickson, Ellie Nathan with KSFY. When you look back at your 40 years coaching and then your time as a student athlete as well, when you're looking back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what will be the one lasting memory that you take away? You know, whether it's something on the court, success, or something off the court, tradition, whatever it may be. What will you take away that you'll tell your kids, grandkids, and et cetera?
Well, I don't know if there's just one thing. I've got pretty short-term memory. I remember what happened this year and maybe last year, but 20 years ago, no. I think, like I mentioned, all the coaches that I've had, and, I had 8 or 9 of them, and if you can pick out 1 or 2 things from each coach that you've had over the years and kind of use it as a coaching philosophy, usually works pretty good. You do the things that they did well, and you stay away from the things you didn't like. And so just the respect I think I have for a lot of the coaches that I've had in my career.
Obviously, you're a national champion at the NAI level. What does it mean to you to see how much Northern has grown from your beginning to where it's at now? You mentioned you guys making 5 straight trips to the Central Region, and then the men getting to that national championship game this year.
Well, when we jumped into the NCAA in the 90s, we were pretty overmatched. I mean, you're talking North Dakota State, you're talking University of North Dakota, you're talking a lot of the North Central teams. And of course, eventually they left the league, and our league kept getting stronger. And then I think in the 2000s, you saw our league start to elevate a little bit. And, you know, sometimes, I don't know if you get smarter when you get older or what, but, you know, the last 5 years here have been pretty good. And we've had some good athletes, we've had some breaks, but, you know, I just think that all of our sports, it isn't just basketball, but all of our sports, I think, have elevated to the point where it's a challenge. And sometimes you need some leadership like Josh here. You know, sometimes our coaches need to get kicked in the butt once in a while to say, hey, you guys can do this, go out and do it. And I think that's what's happened here a little bit over the last few years, and it was good to see. Yeah, man.
Going off of that, do you see a day in the future where, you know, SDSU, I'm sure people there didn't think necessarily they'd ever go D1. You ever see, there's been Augustana talk about D1 I've heard before. Any chance down the road at some point that Northern gets to that point? Anybody?
I don't think so. I think we're happy with Division II. I think if Augustana leaves the league, it'll be because of Sanford, maybe pushing them that way just because of Vermillion and Brookings. But, you know, I think we're very happy in the Division II league we're in. I think our teams are making strides into being competitive. Look at both basketball teams this year and the volleyball team, how well we did in the league standings. And, you know, we've had some other sports, including women's softball this spring, that has really elevated themselves. So I think we continually get better in our league, and I think that's what we want to do.
Coach Krueger, part of your motto was not to just be as good, but to be better. Being better would be 849, 850 wins. Obviously, that's not your goal right now. Is just to, you know, work with the current team and get better each day and each rep. I understand that, but what are your feelings going into this job? Is it nervous because of how big the shoes are? Is it excitement? You know, where's kind of your mind at going into this position?
I think it's all of those things. I think you're nervous, you're excited, you're all of those pieces. It's a little bit different because a lot of times people are coming from the outside to fill a position like this, and I've lived it for most of my life. And so I think that pressure makes diamonds. And, you know, I mean, I think this program, the programs surrounding it have, you know, all gotten better. And, you know, I've got a mentor that's going to be in the gym, even though he says he's going to try not to be. I already know that's factual. The volunteer coaching thing, he's already written up his own contract, so I'm pretty sure he'll be present for that too. But anyway, you know, my vision is to continue to grow it. Coach did something really, really special here, and I don't plan to ever top that or change that or replace that, but to do it in my way with my face behind the group that's with me, much like he did when my face was behind him and he led us.
Coach, you're obviously very emotional about it. What is, I guess, what is the most important part to you about finally getting this job, and, you know, why is this so important to you?
You said finally, and I thought, well, it's only been 25 years. You know, I think the reason that I'm emotional is because I know the impact that Coach has had on so many people. I'm quite a bit more emotional person than he is, so, you know, the tears were very genuine, and if I could have shut him off, I would. He probably sat over here and said, oh, Paula, stop crying. But the reason that it's emotional is look who's here for a press conference about women's basketball. Walk into a gym and you see people like May Wiley, who had been at every game that I ever played, who's now here at all the games that we coach. When our kids go out in the public, they're known as people, not just as a number on the basketball court. And I think that, you know, that's emotional in and of itself. And to come someplace that has meant so much to me and to my lifetime, I don't know many coaches that wouldn't find it to be a dream to be where they played.
Coach Krueger, you said that this is something you've dreamed about since you were 19. What at that time told you that this was what you wanted to do 25 years in the future?
Coach Fredrickson? No, really, it was him. I was majoring in biology to be a physical therapist, and he had me in his office. He probably doesn't remember it, but he said, "Why are you taking biology classes?" And I said, "Because I'm going to be a physical therapist." He said, "No, you're not." I said, "Yes, I am." "No, you're not." And it went back and forth for a while, and lo and behold, my junior year, I changed my major, and the rest is history, and one more time, he was right.
I guess taking over, obviously you've been here for the past couple years, but what will your message be to your team when now you're at the head of it?
Don't be the same, be better. Don't be the same, be better.
Josh, you know, you guys announced this yesterday, and look at the people that are here. What does it say about the support that that Aberdeen and this community has for this team and this program, to see just the gathering that's come for not knowing for sure what it was? Maybe they had an idea.
Yeah, I think we really want it in this concourse. You can see just walk up and down this hallway and see the tradition here of this university, and especially basketball. And you look at walks and Coach Meyer and just all the different things you see here. It's really powerful. So I think that says a lot about this program, this community, how important basketball is to this university. So it's really an exciting day, and again, it's just a testament to this community and all the amazing supporters that show up at the games. And I mentioned that in earlier remarks that, you know, for women's basketball to be in the top 40 of all divisions in attendance, you know, beating some of the Alabamas of the world and some of those schools, is Florida State's, you know, is just unbelievable. So I think our student athletes appreciate that, they feel that, and for us, you know, there's not a better place to play Division II basketball than right here in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
I guess one more question for Coach Krueger. How much of an advantage do you feel maybe being here the past couple years, knowing your returning team, and then as Coach Fredrickson said, you bringing in those 4 or 5 recruits for this season?
I think anytime that you have a wheel that's been spinning as well as Coach has had, you don't want to reinvent it. I certainly have to change it to fit me and my personality, but what he's done speaks for itself. And so when I went off on my own to learn what that wheel was going to look like for myself, there were lots of spokes that came from Coach Fredrickson, and I think that with who we have back and my personality, yeah, you're going to see changes and things are going to be different, but as much as things change, they stay the same. And so my goal is to build with what is here and to not be the same, but be better.
Coach Fredrickson, how much easier is it to make this move after so much time when you've got someone that you have such respect for that you can hand the reins off to?
Well, you know, 3 years ago, I called Paula on the phone and I said, you know, if you want any chance to be the head coach at Northern, you need to get back here and be my assistant coach. And so, you know, she thought it over and thought it over and thought it over, and there was more than one phone call involved. And, you know, I mean, she took a big pay cut to come back here to be an assistant college coach, and she's been very patient. You know, I told her I was going to do this 2 or 3 years. Well, this is year 3. You know, it wasn't year 2, it was year 3. I just wanted to be able to coach Bryn Flackus for another year, so. But, no, so that's kind of how, I mean, you know, you trust somebody and all the experience she's had before. She knows our program and has family in the immediate area, which is important to her. And so everything, the pieces of the puzzle just fit. Obviously, when she comes in, and now you have to convince your administration that down the road that she's the person for the job.
I guess going off that, Josh, how hard was it to be convinced that Paula was the one for the job?
Yeah, I think, you know, the president and I, Dr. Downs, discussed, you know, this multiple times over the last couple of years, and, you know, I mentioned that, you know, she's been on an interview for the last 3 years, so just seeing how she recruits and how much passion she has for this place, I think it speaks to, again, the tradition that is at Northern. But when you have an alum who's in the Hall of Fame that won 2 national titles, she knows what it takes to, you know, we want to win a national title here in women's basketball. We think we can do it, and we think we're close. And our student athletes should believe that, right? So I think for me, for Dr. Downs, you know, in our discussions, it's been, you know, on the student athlete experience and as Paula said, some things will change, and some of the things in the playbook, we won't probably have 900 plays. And as Sarah Tweed here, which, her impersonation of Coach Fred last night is probably spot on. But we'll share that for folks. It's I think people sometimes don't realize Coach Fred is a funny person, and he kind of likes when people poke at him a little bit. So hope you like the popcorn and things like that. But I think with Paula, it's really been about just watching her the last 3 years and see how what's she going to do to elevate this program. So as Paula said, it's about getting better, and we want to get better. We want to be at the top. So that's the goal.
So Paula, with Coach Fred retiring, are you also going to take over noon ball?
That commissioner job is being left to someone else.
This wasn't the toughest thing I had to do today. I went to rehab this morning.
I'd just like to say that what Josh Moon said is true, that we've been watching Paula grow and develop. In higher education, I call it the human development business, and it's not just about our students. It's about our faculty and our staff, and how do we help them grow and develop and go to that next level of their career. So there's been a lot of coaching in athletics, and there will continue to be so, is just like we do with our faculty. How do we prepare people for the next phases of their career? So when Mr. Moon came to me and said, I think we have a replacement should Coach Fred decide he wants to retire, I was very receptive to it. I then started to watch her more on the sidelines. She didn't know that. And I really saw that she really relates to the players and is really a fine coach. So this transition, I would presume, will be exceptional, especially since Coach Fred will be in the background, maybe whispering hints. But
did you notice that she tries to get the coach egged it towards the referees all the time, too?
yeah, she tried to get in between you.
No, she tried to egg me on so I get a technical. She wanted me to get thrown out so she could be the coach.
Truth, I wanted him tossed. That's not a lie. That's true.
Well, it was for her own personal development, so she could take the rest of the game.
Professional growth.
Yes, but seriously, we have the highest level of confidence in Coach Krueger that this program will continue to at this level of excellence and probably beyond.
Any other questions? Again, we want to thank everybody for coming. We appreciate it so much, and welcome Paula. And thank you, Coach Fred, and go Wolves.
Go Wolves.